So I'd like to introduce to the myEcon family today, Mr. Stroza Hill, EVP Infinity, out of Greensboro, North Carolina. Mr. Hill, are you ready, sir?
I'm always ready. How you doing? All right. Well, real quick, Coach, don't you go anywhere because I got you working with me today. I got some scripture that's going to pop up on my slides, and I hope that you will go ahead and do your thing. You'll see it. When you see it, you do it. All right. So don't go anywhere. All right. We're going to show you how business partners work together. Okay. And as Mr. Curry said, my name is Stroza Hill, and I'm going to pull up my slides here. And we're going to have some fun here real quick. I'm going to attempt to show you guys why you should not pass up people, like Mr. Curry said, that are already in business for themselves. Just because they're in business for themselves, just like Coach said, there's a lot of things that people may not know when it comes to how to handle their finances. Making money is easy. Keeping it is an entirely different subject. And I would like to thank John Pettifordell for doing let me tell you something, folks, what an awesome job breaking it down, make it simple. Anybody that don't get it after that, just pray, okay? Just pray, because you can't make it any better than that. So let's go ahead and get into it. And as I go through this, I will tell you a little bit about myself. Again, Stroza Hill, out of originally from New York, went to school at North Carolina A&T State University, and majored in architecture, engineering, and construction management. Also filled a military obligation. I was a company commander during Desert Storm, training people to go to war. And of course, during that same time, I was also running my own business. Of course, after the conflict is over and retiring, I was able to actually run my business full time. And that's what I've been doing, having a ball. And I tell people every day, I don't go to work. People say, "You're going to work?" I said, "No, I'm going to my office." Work is something you do when you'd rather be doing something else. I've been blessed to do something I love, and I don't see it as work. It's just what I do. So I'm with you, Coach, and I know exactly how you feel. So, S.M.A.R.T University, the two stands for the two companies work together. We're going to be talking about that real quick. The Legacy Financial Group, which is my financial firm, and of course, myEcon, which is the whole platform today, is talking about. S.M.A.R.T stands for saving money, always requires training. And that's what it's all about, folks, getting training. We take an educational approach. That's why we are a university, all right? A group of people come together to get educated. Coach, jump into this.
Amos 3:3 says, "Can two walk together except they be agreed?"
You see, the coach and I, we're in agreement. We know how to work together. myEcon and Letter C, we're in agreement. We know how to work together, okay? We're here to help people understand what their goal is. Now, when you're talking from a business to a business point of view, all of us know that your number one job is to prospect. We're constantly looking for people who want better out of life than being average and ordinary. So we want to share the good news. Have y'all not heard good news today? That's all I've heard is good news. Mr. Clarence, I mean, just think about it. He said something that was so profound. He said, you can't teach what you don't know. So he made it clear. These are things that are so important. You got Mr. James. James, he took care. The Bible talks about taking care of your brother. He took care of his brother. He didn't let him go into a home. These are things that people can do when they plan to put themselves in position to do that. And of course, my good friend Charmaine, I know her story. See, there are people that have successful businesses and still understand I need to be with something where people are talking about how to invest, how to stay debt-free, how to have perfect credit, and share that with other people because their traditional business may not be as duplicatable as what we do here in myEcon. So, folks, you got to understand what this is all about. Don't get it twisted. We're here to share the good news. This is a picture for one of our cash flow conferences right before COVID. We had close to 200 people there, folks. We have financial professionals. Now, when you talk about financial professionals, the real ones, they usually have licenses. They are in a regulated environment. Then you have real estate and tax professionals. They have regulations also that they must follow. Then you have professional networkers. You see, we found out in the networking arena, they make money, but they don't have a platform in order to teach people how to take that money and let it make more money. Like John Pettiford said, you get some cash, put it in an asset that makes you some more cash and repeat. So that's what it's all about. So let's take a look at another scripture, folks, that I think is so powerful.
All right, Deuteronomy 8:18 says, "But thou shalt remember the Lord thy God, for it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant, which he swore unto thy fathers, as it is this day."
See, Coach, we all got the power to get wealth, don't we?
Yes, we do.
We got that power. But see, like Clarence said, you can't teach what you don't know. So we have to make financial literacy as part of what we do. So what we do, folks, is very simple. We want to make sure that you understand that there is a platform here for you, and we're going to show you how to do that. Now, there's a couple of things you need to know. You see, we're going to take and make sure you understand, one, that this is a numbers business. Now, there's some skill sets I think are important for you to understand. Write this down. You need to collapse time frames. You can't take forever. We're not going to take 40 years for an 11-day journey. I'm not going to be in the desert for 40 years when somebody say, we can cross this thing in 11 days. Sign me up for the 11-day journey. All right. And let's get this over with. All right. You got to be consistent. You can't do something once and don't do it anymore. Be consistent. Keep doing it over and over. After a while, it gets easier and easier. You don't even realize you're doing it. You got to embrace repetition. There are certain things you got to do over and over and over again, and you got to be smiling about it. Repetition is how you duplicate yourself, which is the last point. Understanding duplication. If what you're doing can't be duplicated, you're the only one that's going to be doing it. I'm telling you, there's not enough time in a day for you to reach great heights if you're the only one that can do it. So we got to share the wealth. So we understand we're in a numbers business. The numbers we're taught here at myEcon 10-4-1. If you're talking to people prospecting personally, you got to talk to 10-4. We'll say, yeah, that's for me. And 1 will actually do something. And if you're doing it online, folks, if you're using social media, the numbers are bigger. You need to reach out to 1,000 people for 100 to get their attention, for 10 to say, I'm in. It doesn't change. You see, you can't beat the numbers, but the numbers can't beat you. So you got to understand something. Both of our businesses, all of them, they're the same. We got to prospect. Now, how do you prospect? When you come in myEcon, you need to make a name list. To me, it makes absolutely no sense. Yes, I'm going to promote myself all over the world, but I know people on my left, my right around in my neighborhood. Why would I not say something to them? To get started, make a list. You can go out. If you're in business, we meet other business people out in the public groups. If you have people in business, we're going to help them out. We do presentations on Zoom platforms, to help people. They can be anywhere. They're all over the United States. We help people one-on-one. We help them make calls. We talk for them and all those types of things. And then we utilize the power of social media. We post ourselves, our business, what we're doing, so we can attract people. They say, man, something's different about that young lady right there. Something's different about that guy. Folks, so we say, what buttons do you push? It's real simple. You push all of the daggone buttons. All of them work. This ideology, I'm just going to do this and forget the other. No. Push all the buttons. All right. And this is how we build that mindset. So let's take a look closer, folks, why this is important. You see, why do we want to prospect professionals? Well, they could assist associates with needed services after being educated. There's nothing like working with an educated person. Otherwise, if they don't put forth the effort to get educated, then you basically as a salesperson, then it takes somebody else to come along and sell them something else. But if they get educated, like Coach Matlin said, I ain't going anywhere. They're educating me. Why would she go anywhere else? Because this is where it happens. They could possibly help our organization grow by bringing their client base. These folks have networks too of people that they've helped. All right. Why would you not want them to get the education that they can get here in myEcon? Leveraging the right professionals could increase the perception, the perception value of your business. If you have a business and you got the lawyers, the doctors, the professional people, it just helps uplift that this is for real, because those kind of people probably wouldn't hang out with you if it was some mess. Okay. So keep that in mind. So let's take a look at some more powerful scripture here. Now listen carefully, folks, because this is what we do.
Amen. Let's look at Proverbs chapter 3, verse 27. Do not withhold good from those to whom it is due, when it is in your power to act. And Galatians 6:10 says, therefore, as we have opportunity, let us do good to all people, especially to those who belong to the family of believers.
Boy, Coach, boy, thank you for that. Let me tell you something, folks. You think about what you're hearing today. You hear a collaboration of people coming together, giving you the information you need to change your life. So why? Let's talk about it. All right. What do professionals want? You see, when you look at the products and services that we have, professionals, they can use the cash flow strategist, cash flow manager. How about your real estate people and your tax professionals? All those things you see. My credit system. You know how many people can't qualify for a home because their credit is jacked? Well, we got a solution for that. The cash flow manager, teaching them people how to budget and have an electronic system where you can put in your information, tells you what's going out at the touch of a button. You know where you stand. Identity. You know, you got to protect your identity, folks. And guess what? The business membership. If I'm a tax preparer and I'm seeing people getting large refunds or not getting any at all, I'm going to introduce them to a business. And it has to be a duplicatable business. I can't show people how to open up bowling alleys. All right. I can't show people how to start daycare centers and be in compliance. But I can show them how to get on the internet in 5 minutes with their name, address, and telephone number and a credit card that works in business, just like that. And how about professional networkers? We already know what they're lacking. They make money, but they don't have a way to keep up with it. They don't have a way, and they are introduced to things called chargebacks. Now, if you don't know what that is, don't worry about it. It just means somebody paid you and then something happened. You got to get that money back. It's not a good feeling, and they know what it is. myEcon doesn't have any chargeback. So, folks, these are reasons to talk to these kind of people, all right? Now, why did I get involved as a financial professional in business? Well, first of all, folks, I'm going to tell you something. You know, I was actually minding my business, and one of my sergeant friends, he asked me over to the armory to take a look at something. And I told him I didn't have time for that. Man, I don't have time for that. He said, but sir, if you come over, there's this program, I can't figure it out. And I just need some help. He just kept asking. So I went over there. Folks, when I went over there, I saw the cash flow strategist. That's all I saw. And I'm sitting there like this. Now, keep in mind, you may not understand my industry. I'm paying $400 a month for a system to do that information. And then I'm looking at this, and he's telling me it comes with being a member of myEcon. I was like, oh, snap. So he said, you can take a look at it further. So he gave me his address. And when I went back to my office, I opened it up, Coach, and guess what? All I saw was this myEcon stuff. I saw all these, potions with, low stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, I'm not in that. I just want to see that financial stuff you showed me. He said, well, sir, that's in my back office. I said, what do you mean your back office? He said, well, you got to have password again. I said, you better get me in your back office because that's what I want to see. I don't want to see all this other stuff. And folks, once I saw that, I said to myself, if there's a program like this available that can help people understand the roadmap of what it's going to take to get them, I would be foolish to let this go by. So, folks, I jumped in, and I tell you, that's how we joined together. So my financial firm, if you look to the left, we do everything. We're licensed. I got every license there is, okay? So when we talk about income protection, we make sure people understand. Now, make sure you understand. We make sure our associates who get involved understand why that's important. And notice what it said. The Letter C Financial Group is the official financial firm for myEcon Associates. Y'all get that right. That's correct. All right. Cash flow management. Folks, we got the tools to do that. So when I see clients have a problem of understanding what's coming in and going out, problem solved. We got put them in I put people in the business, don't even mention the word myEcon. I say, hey, we need a system. We got it. If this is not a problem, let's go ahead and get you signed up. Hey, get in business. Annuities, rollovers. I heard someone mention that. I do that every day. Millions of dollars of rollovers. All right. Asset protection. You see it all right there. But you see the things highlighted on the right-hand side through myEcon, folks. These are things that gave us the ability to help people in better ways to prepare them to do the things that are necessary. So I understand that totally. So we work for the client. So now, I'm also, just like I'm an author, I've written a book called Living in the Overflow, Following God's Principles to Prosperity. And I teach in our firm, in our organization, to give, invest, live. Okay, we believe in giving a tenth, investing a tenth, and living off the 80. See, folks, I can pretty much guarantee a person, if you handle your money coming in like that, give, invest, and live, you will never learn how to spend 100% of your money. And I go into that. That book is due out at the beginning of the year. So, folks, I'm excited about that. Now, let's take a look at Proverbs 15:22. Now, listen carefully.
All right. Without counsel, purposes are disappointed, but in the multitude of counselors, they are established.
Folks, did y'all hear all the counselors we had today that's speaking into you? Starting with our leader, Alvin Curry, John Pettifidel. You had Clarence, you had James, you had Camille, you have Coach Madeline. Guess what? You are amongst the counselors, and we're all going in the same direction. It's about you. The question is, what are you going to do? Like John Pettiford says all the time. He says all the time, I got to check you out. No. We got to check you out. Okay, we know what we're doing. We know where we're going. So we have a program inside of the organization, myEcon. Folks, we have many things, cash flow managers, calculators. You saw John Pettifidel use that. We have ways to stay in touch with all the people, but there's one in particular, the cash flow strategist. See, that's my baby right there, because the cash flow strategist is the roadmap to where you are. Now listen to this.
Absolutely. Luke 14:28-30. Suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first sit down and estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it? For if you lay the foundation and are not able to finish it, everyone who sees it will ridicule you, saying this person began to build and wasn't able to finish it.
Lord have mercy. Let me tell you something. And when it's in red, what does that mean, y'all?
That's the Lord Jesus' words. That's a parable.
Teaching the people. You are amongst good counsel, folks. That's why I've been here as long as I have, because I know I'm with the right people. So the cash flow strategist is going to ask you information. It's the roadmap to your financial future. See, here's the problem. People spend more time planning a vacation with money they don't have to have fun to come back and be broke. But they will put off sitting down and making sure that their financial house is in order, because deep down inside, they know it's going to require some changes in discipline. That's why they don't want to do it. I tell people, I know why they don't get involved when they don't, because we're not sexy, okay? But we're necessary and we're right. So we're looking for people who are looking for us. See, folks, when you put in all your information, what are your goals? Okay, what do you expect to have in retirement? John Pettiford went over how much money you need, folks. Who are we fooling? Americans, they're broke. They live in paycheck to paycheck, paycheck to paycheck. What do? We have the solution. Yes, you're going to have to change. Yes, you're going to have to discipline yourself. Yes, you've already had your fun. Now it's time to go to work and be able to enjoy what we call retirement. That means living off your investments without you having to work. So, folks, when we put all that together, it spits out a report. We make sure that our clients, they get, we call it the future needs analysis, but it's done through the cash flow strategist. Here's your roadmap. Now, notice what it says. Everybody needs one of these. See, we educate our clients and give them an opportunity to become an associate, or we recruit associates and give them an opportunity to become a client. Either way works. They both work. All right. So we just want to make sure that people that get involved with us make sure they have their house in order so they can be the light for what others need to do. Otherwise, I believe people are hypocrites. So again, why? Why should you want to be part of financial education company? Folks, the educational platform, look how much we do to make sure you understand the income shifting strategies. Folks, if you keep hearing them, eventually, if you're not doing it, you're going to start doing it. My mom used to tell me when I was growing up, hang out with them bad boys, you're going to end up in trouble like them. Well, can that work on a positive note? Hang out with those wealthy people that's giving you good counsel and leading you in the right direction. You're going to end up like them. Most definitely. It works either way. The ability to add leverage income, residual income in your business practice, folks. That's why people should be involved with us. Okay? That's why. So what do? We teach in our firm the PCP, the personal cash flow plan. Now, the personal cash flow plan is our detailed plan on how to apply discretionary cash flow to your finances each month to attain personal financial success. Now, I'm going to go through this very quickly, but I want those that are looking at this for the first time to ask yourself, when I finish, are you doing this? Because if you're not, I can predict your financial future. That's how important this is. Okay, so number one, it says to acquire as much cash flow as possible. That means you might need to make some adjustments here and there. We teach you how to do that. All right, you set up a beginner's emergency fund. That's $3,000 to $5,000. You shall not act like you've arrived and you got it going on if you don't have 3 to 5 put away immediately in case something was to happen that can set you back. Number 3, you begin investing in your retirement. All of the ones you see here, you need to be learning about them. Now saying, I don't know what to do. You can be putting the right amount of money in 401k, but be not properly asset allocated, and you still won't achieve your goal. So that's why you need to seek wise counsel. Step 4, debt elimination. If you don't have a plan to get out of debt, ladies and gentlemen, obviously you plan to stay in it. Everyone here should know their DFD. That's your debt freedom date. So when people give me that, oh, this is not fast, I said, great, you obviously must know your DFD. Then they're looking at me like the deer stare. They don't even know what that is. What's your debt freedom date? What date do you know you'll be totally debt free? If you don't know, you probably never be. Step 5, retirement and investments. All right. You're supposed to understand that after you're doing these things, you now can invest more money. Max that bad boy out. You can't save too much money. You can spend too much money, but you can't invest too much money. It's all about preparing. 6, build a full emergency fund. Folks, if you don't have at least 6 to 12 months put aside, again, don't act like you've arrived. You are an accident waiting to happen. I don't have to wait till something happens for me to be proven right. Get 6 to 12 and ask yourself, how would you feel if something happened? You knew you could survive for a whole year without messing up your credit, missing a bill. See, folks, that's called attitude money. When you have it, you have a better attitude. When you don't have money, your attitude is jacked. Okay, you can play it off all you want. Number 7, if you don't own, you need to own a home. Buy something that you own that builds up equity. If you got one, pay that bad boy off. And step 8, you need to build your investment portfolio over and above retirement. You heard our coach build hers, but she got them 8 cylinders working. They just working like an engine in a truck. See, you got to ask, how many cylinders do you have working? See, hang around the right kind of people, and these types of things will happen to you. Now, notice what it says right here, ladies and gentlemen. You see, the bottom line. Whoops, let me go back, Coach. Don't start yet. All right, I was trying to make it where I can read. But anyway, the bottom line is the company realizes that they're limited to some degree of the things they can do. There are a lot of things you need to do. Folks, you need to understand life insurance, health insurance, disability, long-term care, other financial needs. These are products and services by law require a person to have a license to talk about or to make sure you understand. All right? So we believe that there are many competent and qualified financial professionals. All right? You should choose a financial professional to help you with the rest of your financial needs. So that is why we came up with a step 9, Consider protecting steps 1 through 8. All right? Your most valuable asset is your ability to make money. Let me tell you something, folks. If something happens to that, you're out of there. Unless your name is Michael Jackson, Elvis Presley, Bob Marley, Biggie, Tupac, Whitney Houston, Marilyn Monroe, these people are deceased but still making money. But when the average person dies, their ability to make income, guess what? Dies with them. And then goes the assets because they're not protected. They didn't plan to protect the assets. They left you a house that still has a mortgage that can be taken by somebody else who has more money than you have. I don't know what kind of plan that is, but that's the kind of plan most people have. But note, step 9 is not a written myEcon step and is used for training purposes only. So if you go in your back office and look at your manual, you won't see step 9, but we use it for training purposes only, okay? So attend one of our investment education webinars. The next one is January 27th. And all you have to do is go to that link right there and register it. You can register now, and then your name is on the list, and they send you out a blast when that bad boy get ready to happen. So keep that in mind. So let's take a look at, now this, I love this. 1 Timothy 5:8. Check this out. Now listen carefully, folks.
Listen. Anyone who does not provide for their relatives, and especially for their own household, has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever.
What? Who? Did you say anyone? Anyone. See, folks, if you really take this seriously, you got to understand this task. See, nobody wants to talk about life insurance, but everybody looks for it when something happens. That's not the time to get educated. You see over here, Morgan's husband, Aaron, he passed away unexpectedly. All right. She was left with a mortgage payment that she couldn't afford and would have lost the home. But thank God, as one of my associates say, she wasn't stuck on stupid because she knew I need to prepare. So let's quickly talk about income protection. What are you trying to protect? What products do you use? Well, there's basically two products. One is called term, has many names. Annual renewable term, decreasing term, level premium term. If it's highlighted, that's probably the one I use with my clients. And return to premium term. That just means it lasts for a certain term, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. And after those years are gone, it's gone. No more protection, okay? But it was necessary for that time because it's the least expensive because it doesn't have a lot of other things attached. Now, there's another one called cash value. Has many names. Whole life, because most people are used to paying for their whole life. Variable life, that means it's funded by an investment in the market. Universal life, you can control the premiums and the face amounts. Variable universal, controlled by the market. And the one that I explain to my clients called IUL, Index Universal Life. Now, over the last couple of years, they have introduced these riders, which is a game changer. So I'm boldly telling you, if you have an old program without these programs, you need to give us a call because you got critical illness, chronic illness, terminal illness. If you were told you had 1 to 2 years to live, you can get up to 50% of the face amount of your policy while you're alive. And then upon your demise, the rest goes to your family. If you have a critical illness, heart attack, stroke, renal failure, all the cancer, organ transplant, you can get the money from the insurance company, folks, and still be alive and continue living. So you have an asset now that you have access to money that you didn't have because you don't have the money right now. So you are renting somebody else's cash until you get your own. When understood properly, you know why you need to do this up front, unless you know the day you're going to die. Okay, and nobody never wants to take me up on that when I ask them the day they're going to die. All right, chronic illness. If you can't do 2 of these active daily livings, eating, dressing, bathing, toileting, continence, transferring, you can access the insurance company's money to pay for those things while you still can live for the rest of your life. So folks, why would a person not have that knowing that it exists? You got to make time to get your financial house in order. And of course, if you don't have a will, you have a won't. Here's what won't happen for your family because you didn't leave instructions. People are fighting. Mama said I could do this, that, and the other. Unacceptable. So we have access to that through our ID Defender. It comes with legal, free, and discounted legal protection with the Legal Club of America. Why would anybody in our business not have that? Okay, so folks, that's what we do. We get you squared away. All right, real quick with the permanent, because there's a lot of chatter, man. People don't understand this IUL. Just look at it. I'll just mention some of the things. The IUL, it says, Index Universal Life Insurance are relatively new policies that provide a guaranteed benefit, earning potential tied to an equity index, and flexible premium payments allow cash value buildup. Why would I want to do that? Because you see right here, no contribution limit, no 59.5 rule. That means if you had to take money out before that age, you're not penalized like all of your other retirement plans. Minimum fees to structure, tax-free retirement income. When you start taking income, that's tax-free. This, I would put this up against a 401k any day. No age restriction. Start your kids out when they're young. They'll be millionaires, tax-free money. No stock market risk. Your money's not in the market. So what happened in 07, 08 would not have happened with your money. So we safeguard it. It has principal protection. Money grows tax-free, market-like returns, no age restriction, death benefits that I just mentioned. If you need the money, you can get it now while you're alive. Penalty-free access, and income doesn't affect your Social Security or your Medicare. So if you started that at a certain age, making too much money, they start taking part of your money. Not with this product. So there's a lot of things to take a look at, folks. And there's only one drawback that I tell people just to bring it up. You got to qualify for protection. You got to be healthy enough to qualify. See, when y'all seeing all those advertisements on TikTok, they forget to leave that out. They're going to check your health out. We don't want to give it to somebody we think has got about a year or two to live. That makes sense. So, in closing, I want you to know, bet on living. You got to maximize that nest egg with investment education. And that's what's so important. Now, Coach, you're going to like this because I heard you talk about it already. You got to unmute.
This is one of my favorite scriptures, Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 2. It says, invest in 7 ventures, yes, in 8. You do not know what disaster may come upon the land.
Well, I tell you, see, Coach, I remember the first time I read this, and I just fell out. I said, everything that we need to do from a financial standpoint, it's in the Word. It's in the Word.
It's in the Word.
That's right. But for some reason, I just didn't hear a lot of that preached from the pulpit. I heard a lot of other stuff was like, down here on earth, we need some money, and show me how to do that. So, folks, that's what we do. So when we talk about sources of retirement income, those many ways, look, folks, these are things that wealthy people have. They have pensions. They may be getting money from Social Security, dividends off their investments, interest off their investments, rental properties. They have annuities that guarantee principal protection, life insurance in case something happens prematurely before you get to your estimated goal. Capital gains is made off of your investments, folks. Appreciation. You have residual income and royalties. You might have, like Coach said, she gets royalties off of her book sales. Folks, if you made a song and did well, people still buying it. You get royalties. These are all the ways that you and I should have been taught about making money. They taught you one way. Go trade some time for some daggone money. And my question is, how's that working for you? How's that working for you? Okay, for most people I know, it's not. So, folks, in conclusion, we have set ourselves up just like you were going back to school. Okay, every Thursday we train on one or two topics that we do in the myEcon platform. Okay, we make sure in a month's time we would have covered everything, and then we repeat, because it's a duplicatable system. So we know when we have our BPMs, when we actually talk to people, give them an introduction. We know that if you look to the weekend training, first Saturday trainings, we do our own. Been doing it. We were doing it before the company started doing it. And our third Saturday training, which was what we're on now, we're doing it. So, folks, let me tell you something. If you can make it to our investment webinars, make that a habit. If you go ahead and register now, your name is on the list. And every time we have one, we'll send you out a blast. You'll know when we're doing it. But we cover the things that most people don't know about their money. Okay? And then if you have an interest, then you can meet with us one-on-one, and then we can go into detail. All right? So the bottom line is, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we do at the S.M.A.R.T Universicity. And the bottom line is we teach people who want to be taught how to achieve personal financial success. So, Coach, I want to say thanks again for assisting me here. What an awesome job. What an awesome job you did. As always, we would expect nothing less. And I'm telling you, it's just so good to be amongst counselors at such caliber that deliver what people need to fix their lives. So, Mr. Curry, turn it back to you, sir.